I would not have had such a great outcome if it wasn't for an AED and someone who knew what to do.
In Lansing today, testimony from a young man whose life was saved by a defibrillator at school. Alex Bowerson told lawmakers if it wasn't for that AED and a trained professional, he likely would have died. He was at the state capitol for a hearing on bills meant to provide better guidelines for schools in the event of a cardiac emergency. 13 on Your Side political reporter Josh Albertus was at the hearing and has the story.
December 15th, 2022, my life changed forever.
College freshman Alex Bowerson recounted for lawmakers Tuesday his experience of a sudden cardiac emergency while still in high school, telling them he likely would not have come out alive if not for a nurse's quick actions and an automatic external defibrillator, or AED.
I was only in a terrible rhythm for about 2 minutes before that AED shocked me, and it led to an incredible outcome, and I would not be alive today if it was not for this AED and for someone who knew what to do.
Bowerson, alongside others, testified in support of 2 House bills aimed at strengthening public schools' plans for cardiac emergencies and clearer guidelines on the placement of AEDs.
Specifically, my bill would require an automated external defibrillator to be accessible within 1 to 3 minutes of a cardiac emergency, which is determined through data and best practices.
While the state already has requirements for schools to have cardiac emergency response teams, these bills aim to go farther. They would lay out more specific guidelines for the placement of AEDs, training needed for school staff, and a requirement that all athletic coaches in high schools be CPR and AED certified.
Schools don't have clear guidelines, so this bill will help set those up and give schools a roadmap on how to implement these safety measures.
But even on issues where there may be broader support, early draft bills often come with questions from lawmakers.
I'm just not sure how a school would know what 1 to 3 minutes means. Are there people in the hall? Is it a certain time of day that would change that? And I think that opens up schools up for lawsuits.
I think that some of those details are going to be ironed out in this substitute, but we're working hard to make sure that we're prioritizing the health and well-being of our student athletes.
The bills still need to pass out of committee before moving on to the full House for a vote.
So Josh, we know AEDs can be expensive. How do supporters say this will be paid for?
Well, Representative Fitzgerald, who you heard some from there, said he would hope to have some private philanthropy on top of state dollars. But with the current language, schools would not have to follow these requirements unless the state gives them enough money to do so. So we'll have to wait and see how the language may change or what supporters are prepared to do to get the state to fund this in full.
All right, Josh, thank you so much.